Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to the Leading Stars ECCE program brought to you by the Ministry of Education. I am Uncle Matthew, and I will help you to get ready for the day. I hope that you had a good breakfast and that you're ready to get started. Now, we have our circle time. We start our day with the national anthem. So, feet together, hands at your side, stand tall, and here we go. 3, 4. Very good. Now we're going to say the national pledge. We'll be saying this together. 3, 4.
I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country. I will honor my parents, my teachers, my leaders, and my elders, and those in authority. I will be clean and honest in all my thoughts, my words, and my deeds. I will strive in everything I do to work together with my fellow men of every creed and race for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of my country.
Great job. Now I need you to put your hands together, close your eyes, and bow your head for us to say the school prayer. Are you ready? 3, 4.
Praise be to you, Almighty God, Creator of the universe and all that is in it. We thank you, O Father, for the opportunity which you are giving us to increase our knowledge. May your divine grace enable us to study hard and use what we learn for the good of our fellow citizens. We pray that you will free us from selfishness, lust, greed, anger, and hatred. Warm our hearts with love, fill our minds with understanding, and strengthen our will in the face of difficulties. Help us, O Father, to make our beloved country of Trinidad and Tobago the kind of place you want it to be. A place where human dignity is respected, where equal rights are accorded to all citizens, where hard work is encouraged and rewarded, and where you, O God, reign supreme.
It's time for our good morning songs. You ready to go? Let's sing along.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We hope you have a good time today. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We hope you have a good time today.
Good morning, preschool friends, how are you? Good morning, preschool friends, how are you? We're here to work and play, so let's start the day. Good morning, preschool friends, how are you? happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray. If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray.
Trinidad is my land, and of it I am proud and glad. But I can't understand why some people just talk it mad. But I know all of them, we're running them out. Don't know what they're talking about. They would paint you black every day, and the right things they would never say. Like our sportsmen being rated among the best. Our scholars have sit and passed every test, and put us alongside the rest. Oh yes, and our beach lake, it's the greatest one of its kind. Our sugar and oil is really refined. So you see, my friends, there's a real king Solomon's mine.
Okay, so we've been standing for a while. It's time to sit down, reach deep into your pockets, take out your listening ears, and prepare for current affairs and story time. Now, you have to listen very carefully because there will be questions after. All right, let's go.
Boys and girls, this is your Auntie Mary. We are at the end of the week. We sure learned a lot this week. We spoke about International Day of Peace, patriotism, the International Day of Sign Languages, and Republic Day. Learning new things is so much fun. I'm sure you will agree. Boys and girls, part of our culture in Trinidad and Tobago is the lovely cuisine. Yes, the food we eat. What special food do you like mommy or daddy to make for you? You can shout out the answer. Let's talk about the original food in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago boasts of its diverse people with its equally diverse cultures. As a result, our cuisine has been greatly influenced by the Amerindians, African, Indians, Europeans, and the Chinese. Let's talk about Creole food. Africans also brought with them the technique of one-pot cooking of vegetables, meats, beans, and starches. This influence can be seen in signature Creole dishes like pilau, callaloo, chicken, stew peas, and of course our many soups. What about East Indian foods? Indians arrived on the island with their traditional spices and foods, which once incorporated altered the local cuisine even further. The most significant spice was curry. Like stew, any type of meat can be curried and is eaten mostly with roti in their many variations: paratha, dal puri, dosti. Some signature East Indian dishes include roti, doubles, aloo pie, and pulori. Boys and girls, all this food talk is making me feel hungry. So let's get up and move a little bit. Boys and girls, welcome to another story time with Auntie Mary. Remember, I told you this week we will be doing only local stories. And we are taking stories from the NGC Bocas Litfest Storytelling Caravan. The name of this story is Leon Gets Lost in Central Market. Leon walked through the colorful stores of Central Market. His father, Spencer, held his hand. That breezy Sunday morning, 7-year-old Leon was excited about the ingredients he and his father would use to create a fish broth for their family. The first order of the day was the kingfish. They made their way to Mr. Stanley, the vendor they had been going to for years. "How you going, small man?" asked Mr. Stanley. "Good," replied Leon. A smile spread across his face. "I could see you smiling now. What can I get for you all today?" asked Mr. Stanley. "I'd like to get 2 pounds of kingfish, please," said Spencer. Leon's eyes took in all the wonderful fruit and vegetables around them. He spotted some glowing plum tomatoes. His mouth began to water. Tomatoes were his favorite, with their fire truck red color. "Oh, I want to look at those," he thought. "That won't miss me. It's just over there." He could smell the ripe tomatoes. They looked even better closer up, gleaming in the sunlight. Just as he was about to return to his father, he spotted some beautifully decorated flower pots. They were covered in bright indigo and violet flowers. He thought about how his mother would love them. "If only I could get her one," he said to himself. "I know I'll ask Daddy." He hurried back to the fish vendor, but his father was no longer there. His stomach dropped. "Oh no," he exclaimed. "What am I going to do?" He knew they had to buy potatoes. So he sped to the vegetable stall near the entrance, but no Daddy. Maybe he went to get the pumpkin, he thought. There was not a single pumpkin vendor in sight. Panic set in. He'd searched through the aisles and could not find his father. Tears spilled down his dark eyes, down his cheeks, as he stood in the middle of a wide aisle. When it seemed as if all was lost, he felt a firm hand on his shoulder. He turned around and saw Mr. Stanley. "What's wrong, Leon?" I lost my daddy." "Oh dear." He told me as he was going to get some pumpkin. "I thought you were with him." "We'll go to the security and make an announcement," suggested Mr. Stanley. A giant of a man was sitting on the front desk. Leon was scared to approach him, but as soon as the man's eyes met Leon's, a large grin spread across his face. Leon relaxed at once. "This young man's been separated from his father," explained Mr. Stanley. "What's your name, son?" asked the security. "Leon Jeremy Clark," he rattled off. "What's your dad's name, and what does he look like?" the guard inquired. "Spencer Clark. He's short, has glasses, dark curly hair. He's wearing a blue and red shirt," replied Leon. "Okay, I'll page him." "Would Mr. Spencer Clark come to the front desk immediately? Would Mr. Spencer Clark come to the front desk immediately?" The guard's voice boomed from above. A few moments later, Mr. Clark came running. "Leon, I was so worried. Praise the Lord," he said as he hugged him tightly, lifting him into the air. After they had hugged for a good minute, Mr. Clark turned to Mr. Stanley and the security guard. "Thank you for finding my son. What is your name?" he asked the guard. Spencer Thompson." He chuckled. "Spencer Thompson." Everyone began to laugh. "I must repay you both. Why don't you come out to our house for lunch? Leon and I are making fish broth. It's the least we could do." "That sounds wonderful," said Spencer. Mr. Stanley nodded in agreement. Mr. Clark gave them directions and he and Leon finished up their shopping. Leon tightly clutched his father's hand. "I promise I will never wander away from you again, Dad." "Please don't, you had me worried," said Mr. Clark. "I love you, Daddy." said Leon as he looked up at his father. "I love you too, Leon," said Mr. Clark as he ruffled his son's hair. Boys and girls, what do you think about that? Getting lost in the market. Have you ever been to the market with your mother or your father or even grandma or grandpa? Have you ever been to the market with them and see lots of vegetables and fruits? I hope you are not like Leon. You see, Leon learned a very good lesson. Yes, you have to stay with your mom or whosoever take you to the market. Yes, you could look at all the nice vegetables, but keep holding on to your mommy or your daddy or whosoever take you to the market. I hope you really enjoyed this story because it's very important to remember what happened to Leon. Thank you for listening, boys and girls.
Trainee, hey, cause they love how Trinidad's cook, and they like how Trinidad's cook, and they like to hear Trini talk, and they like Trini woman walk, hey, and we make a company, and we make a company. And we make a company. See me, I, see me, I, see me them, see me them, see me, dimmy, hey.
I hope you listened very carefully. Now you're going to do your individual activities for today. I will be back at 10:45 for stories and rhymes. Have a great activity session. Welcome back to the Leading Stars ECCE program. I hope you enjoyed today's activity. Now, we're going to listen to a story. I hope you remember what to do when listening to a story. Do you remember? That's right. Listening ears. Here we go.
Boys and girls, it's story time again with Auntie Mary, and I'm going to read for you another one of our local stories. The name of this story is What's in Our Backyard, and it is written by the children from the NGC Bocas Litfest Storytelling Caravan. I live in a small country town named Sandy Grande by Spanish settlers. The name means big blood. The town is a mixture of many cultures. People here say, in our backyards we have many things in common. One evening, as the sun spread a red and gold glow over the river plains, I remembered stories my mother heard from her grandfather. He traveled on the Fatal Rosak from India and landed on Nelson Island as an indentured laborer in 1845. My grandfather told us. He worked from dawn to dusk on the sugar estates, cutting and bundling cane. He cleaned the dirt rows and then planted more cane. Most days in the field, lunch was sada roti, bhaji and water. But I still have the old tattered deed for the land he bought in 1870 when his contract ended. Stories that my paternal grandfather often told us crossed my mind. Many times he told us we should know that our great-grandfather came here in chains, sailing across the Middle Passage from Africa. He told us about the horrors of his father's captivity. He was a slave. And when he was finally freed in 1838, he never wanted to see land again. Despite their hardships and differences in food, language and culture, the people of Trinidad all share the history of sugarcane and cocoa plantations. Our varied foods and music too. of people from all corners of the world who migrated over the centuries to make us who we are today. All our we is one big family. Bongo and tassa, steel pan, calypso, soca, chutney playing. Everybody does be dancing, Indian, African and Chinese alike. Trinbagonians love their belly. I say to friends, what Trinbagonian you know who don't like a good roti and kuchila and pepper, or pilau, or crab and dumpling? When we eat these foods, we don't think about who brought them to the island. We know them as national dishes. We never think it's strange to see an East Indian lady dressed in a dashiki or an African lady dressed in a sari. That's Trinidad and Tobago. Our history, food, music and culture unite us. That's what we have in our backyards. That's a lovely story, boys and girls. You can go and talk to your grandparents now or your parents and ask them about what they have in their backyard, because you heard about all the cultures that exist right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Ask your mom and dad about the foods. Ask them to make you some, or you can try. Boys and girls, thank you for listening to another story with the ECCE division, What's in Your Backyard?
You see, I just eat a curry cube, peas, rice and cascado, blue crab and kalalu. My neighbor just bring me nali. Cheap, where else in the world you know? Sweet pan and calypso, people just overflow to days in the street. Now leave it. This year we conceive me, say I go dead. Now leave it.
Okay, so that was really good. But let's do it one more time. Are you ready? Let's go. Now we're gonna be having some fun with music, rhymes, and finger plays.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray.
Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, sonnez les matines, ding ding dong, ding ding dong. Are you sleeping, brother John, morning bells are ringing, ding ding dong, ding ding dong.
Where is Thumbkin? Where is Thumbkin?
Here I am.
How are you this morning?
Very well, I thank you.
Run away, run away. Where is Pointer? Where is Pointer?
Here I am.
How are you this morning?
Very well, I thank you.
Run away, run away.
Where is Tall Man? Where is Tall Man?
Here I am.
ring then.
Here I am, here I am.
How are you this morning?
Very well, I thank you.
Run away, run away.
Where is Pinky? Where is Pinky? Here I am, here I am. How are you this morning? Very well, I thank you. Run away, run away. Shut them open, give a little clap. Open, shut them, lay it in your lap. Roll them, roll them, roll them, roll them, roll them just like this. Wave them, wave them, wave them, wave them, give a little clap. Shut them open, give a little clap. Open, shut them, lay it in your lap. Roll them, roll them, roll them, roll them, roll them just like this. Wave them, wave them, wave them, wave them, give a little clap. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Oh, skidamarinka-dinka-dink, skidamarinka-doo. I love you.
When I get the steam up, hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out. The incy-wincy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Up came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the incy-wincy spider went up the spout again. The incy-wincy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Up came the sun and dried up all the rain. And the incy-wincy spider went up the spout again.
You listened very well. It's time for lunch. Before we eat, there's something that we must do. Who knows what it is we should do? That's right, we need to wash our hands with soap before we eat. Remember, lather your hands and wash between your fingers properly. I will be back at 12:30 for recall. Enjoy your lunch. Welcome back, boys and girls, to the Leading Stars ECC program. I hope you had a delicious lunch. We had a very fun day today. Can you remember what we did? Yes? Well, let's see.
Boys and girls, it's recall time. Today we had lots of fun and we spoke about food. Yes, what's in your backyard? And we also talk about the story Leon gets lost in Central Market. More food. And today for your individual activity, you had to make Caribbean pizza. How was that? I could imagine. You had lots of fun. So, I heard you had some ingredients to put in there. I'm sure you had mommy going to the kitchen and getting all those ingredients for you, and you sat there and cut them up in small pieces. Tell me about it. I could hear you all shouting out there that you had lots of fun. Yes, making pizza is always fun. What about the physical activity, boys and girls? You all had fun singing your Marshall Montano song, I Love My Country? I'm sure you did. I could see you marching because I know you learned to march this week. Right. I hope you had a fantastic week with the ECC division. Join us next week for more stories and more fun activities. I am Auntie Mary.
You put your right foot in, you put your right foot out, you put your right foot in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your left foot in, you put your left foot out, you put your left foot in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your right hand in, you put your right hand out, you put your right hand in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your left hand in, you put your left hand out, you put your left hand in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your right hip in, you put your right hip out, you put your right hip in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your left hip in, you put your left hip out, you put your left hip in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your elbows in, you put your elbows out, you put your elbows in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your head in, you put your head out, you put your head in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your whole self in, you put your whole self out, you put your whole self in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your whole self in, you put your whole self out, you put your whole self in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. You put your whole self in, you put your whole self out, you put your whole self in and you shake it all about. You shake it all about, you shake it all about. That's what it's all about.
This is the way we clean our teeth, clean our teeth, clean our teeth. This is the way we clean our teeth every night and morning. This is the way we brush our hair, brush our hair, brush our hair. This is the way we brush our hair every night and morning. This is the way we have our bath, have our bath, have our bath. This is the way we have our bath every night and morning.
Good evening, it was such a lovely day. Good evening, we had fun, we worked and played. Good evening, it was such a lovely day. Good evening, we had fun, we worked and played.
Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Early in the morning. Early in the morning. Goodbye now. Goodbye now. Goodbye, teachers. Goodbye, teachers. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Early in the morning. Early in the morning. Goodbye now. Goodbye now. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Early in the morning. Early in the morning. Goodbye now. Goodbye now. Goodbye, teachers. Goodbye, teachers. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Early in the morning. Early in the morning. Goodbye now. Goodbye now.
That's it. We're finished for today. Join me again where we can have another fun-filled day of learning. Have a good afternoon, boys and girls, and stay safe.
wash your hands, do-do-do-do-do, wash your hands, do-do-do-do-do, wash your hands. Grab some soap, do-do-do-do-do, grab some soap, do-do-do-do-do, grab some soap, do-do-do-do-do, grab some soap. Rub your hands, do-do-do-do-do, rub your hands, do-do-do-do-do, rub your hands, do-do-do-do-do, rub your hands. Rinse your hands, do-do-do-do-do, rinse your hands, do-do-do-do-do, rinse your hands, do-do-do-do-do, rinse your hands. Dry your hands, do-do-do-do-do, dry your hands, do-do-do-do-do, dry your hands, do-do-do-do-do, dry your hands.
What else can we do?
Cover your sneeze, do-do-do-do-do, cover your sneeze, do-do-do-do-do, cover your sneeze, do-do-do-do-do, cover your sneeze. Cup into your elbow, do-do-do-do-do, cup into your elbow, do-do-do-do-do, cup into your elbow, do-do-do-do-do, cup into your elbow. Safe at last, do-do-do-do-do, safe at last, do-do-do-do-do,